What's up, everyone? My name is Morcie. I'm here as a guide and a spiritual teacher. And in today's video, we'll be chatting about friendship and spiritual awakening. We will dive into signs of misalignment so we can be more aware of whether or not our friendships are in tune with our spiritual awakening. Bringing awareness to whether or not our friendships align with our current state of consciousness. This is quite an important topic, common topic within spiritual awakening, right? Because as we awaken, we're having a shift in consciousness. Our awareness is expanding, right? And ultimately, we become more aware of the interconnectedness of all of life. It's quite profound. We're stepping into a whole new dimension of life. So therefore, we begin to have these very deepened experiences with our inner selves, the world around us, recognizing synchronicity. And at the same time, this awakening is very unique to each individual. It comes at the time when we need it, but it may not necessarily come at the time when a friend needs it. And as we're awakening, we might find this misalignment. And we might find that we no longer have certain interest. We no longer share the same interest. Our values begin to shift. Our perspectives begin to change. What we'd like to chat about and have conversations about, our friends may not. And this can impact us significantly. It can come as a shock. I do find that there is a difference between a natural friendship. I say natural, but more of a friendship that drifts, that doesn't specifically involve a spiritual awakening, right? There are moments in life where there are friendships, it does not involve spiritual awakening, and so there is still a natural drifting apart. It's just an aspect of life, right? Friends are here for a season, for a reason, and for a lifetime. When the spiritual awakening process is evolved, I find that more often than not, there tends to be more of this significant change, a much bigger gap. Because often as you awaken, it kind of continues to roll in and you start to recognize more and more of this interconnectedness of life, the recognition that you're more than just the body, that you are beyond thoughts, you are beyond emotions. This realization, it also takes courage in many ways to truly see yourself, to recognize ego within yourself. It takes honesty. And often, once again, not everyone is ready for that. So our friends may not be either. And awakening spiritually can be uncomfortable. It is uncomfortable. I mean, we know that. You're here, you're watching this, you've been through a spiritual awakening. You know it's uncomfortable. But at the same time, when we become more aware and we're allowing change to happen, because the only thing constant in life truly is change, we begin to allow that to happen, we feel much better. We're recognizing inner peace. We're recognizing fulfillment, no longer attached to thoughts, to emotions, no longer attached to labels or identities. It's liberating. And of course, we'd want that for those around us. But it may not be their time. Just as life has awakened you in divine timing, it's important that others are awakened in their divine timing. And perhaps in this lifetime, they will not awaken to it. But that is not up to us. That's out of our hands. It's important that as we continue to dive into this topic, we honor their journey just as we honor our own. This is a popular topic on this channel, so I would like to share that if you do like this topic and you'd like to hear more about it, let me know in the comment section. Let me know if it's helpful, if you find value in it, and I can make it a mini series. I did do a questionnaire, a little survey in the community section. There was some participation, so thank you for that. It helps me communicate and know what everyone here would like to hear and receive. So let's continue that. I do appreciate the comments. It helps me know. It helps me help you. Helps me dive into certain topics. I find that on a personal level, this is healing for myself. On a personal level, friendships and spiritual awakening have been a prominent event in my own process. I found that it has welcomed in powerful, deep connections. But the old connections I have or had, eventually they dissolve. So I do know the importance of needing to feel some sort of support somewhere, gain some clarity so that we can move forward, because specifically in the spiritual awakening and friendship, it can feel confusing and it can also feel like a big loss. And so it's important that we have space to process this and know that we're not alone, right? So one sign I find that is prominent as a sign of misalignment in the awakening process is a lack of support. When your friends show little to no interest in your spiritual awakening process, or just in spiritual awakening in general, right? They may not ask you about personal growth. They may not want to dive into these topics of personal growth, and awakening, and the recognition of interconnectedness. It might even feel like it's avoided. And often as we awaken, we can take that a bit personally, you know? It's like, oh man, these are people I thought were my friends and they're not interested. So it does hurt. I'd like to acknowledge that. It hurts. It's important we acknowledge our emotions. As much as often the mind may come up and say these words, I don't need anyone right now. And there are times where, yes, that is true, all right? Like solitude is what we need. So honoring both, honoring when we're like, you know what, I need some solitude right now, and simultaneously honoring the fact that, man, I'm missing a friendship. It's okay, we're grieving in these moments. Many of us who are here in this video, we're feeling a sense of grief. A loss in a friendship is painful. So honor yourself and honor the fact that, hey, you know what, I did feel a lack of support. I didn't feel interest from them. Another sign I find of misalignment in the awakening process is criticism or judgment. You know, when we step into awakening, to those who their third eye, all their eyes may not be open, all right? Tapping into these conversations can trigger something in them. And what manifests is criticism. What manifests is judgment. What manifests is a lack of openness. And so you may not feel comfortable expressing yourself fully and authentically. You may feel uncomfortable in this already uncomfortable process. Once again, it's a wonderful, there's two sides of the coin where change is uncomfortable. A spiritual awakening is uncomfortable, but at the same time, what you awaken to is liberating. The recognition that you are not your thoughts, you are not your emotions, you are far beyond the physical body. It's liberating. The recognition of both the form and the formless dimension, it's liberating. Knowing yourself as the ocean so you can play as a wave in peace, it's liberating. But at the same time, when it comes to community, when it comes to what we've always known, the people we've always known, it can also come as a shock. And so judgment and criticism can happen, and you may not feel as if you can be your authentic self. Another sign of misalignment in a friendship during spiritual awakening is values diverging, right? No longer are you and your friendships, they're interested in the same things. Or perhaps you're still interested in the same things, but they're not open to these newfound interests that you have, right? So I'd like to honor too and recognize that this topic is quite a broad topic, and I can't fit every single scenario in one, but I do my best to give as much understanding and points to share with you all that we can understand, right? Perhaps one, we share the same interest, but we also begin to expand our interest and our friends aren't moving with us. They're not growing with us. Or perhaps we completely shift away from what we've always done, what we valued, what we're interested in, what we believed, and it's completely new. And our friends are in that same space. They're not shifting. There's not a growing together. So that creates this gap, this divide. So that's another sign. Our values, our interests, our paths, they literally begin to diverge because our frequency is shifting. No longer are we resonating with each other. Number 4, the fourth point that I have about spiritual awakening is we might feel this imbalance in energy, this give and take, this unequal energy exchange, where you find that you are supporting your friend, but they're not supporting you. You might feel drained because it may feel as if your energy is being taken. It may feel like that, your energy is being taken. So there becomes a drift. There's a drift. There's this, once again, it's a gap of space. You're not feeling valued. You're not feeling seen. Often all of these, right, showing little to no interest, judgment and criticism, the diverging of values, right? Not feeling as though you can be your authentic self, in avoidance of growth conversations, right? I'm not sure if I mentioned that already, but that's another one. Conversations about personal growth are avoided. Often in the awakening process, that is so much, if there's conversation, all right, that is the conversation. I know with those that I have deepened relationships with after my awakening process, the majority of the time, it's all about growth. It's all about personal growth, what we're learning, how we've changed, how we've grown, the mistakes we've made, the laughs, things like that. But often when we hold certain friendships that no longer align, those conversations are avoided. And so then you feel like you may not be able to express yourself. You can't be yourself fully. It's that huge gap of space. It feels like a loss. And ultimately, there might be some form of grief there, right? Now, of course, not every friendship doesn't need to end, right? There's different outcomes to everything. You can have a conversation with your friend, and perhaps this honest and open conversation, both of you consciously choose to grow together. Maybe your friend is ready to step into this space, finds or holds some sort of interest. Perhaps there's this just understanding. You have an open communication and understanding of, all right, this friend isn't there yet, but they're open to being interested in what you're interested in. Sticking their toes in it, right? That could be another outcome. They can also be a mutual understanding. A mutual understanding in, hey, maybe this friendship won't work out anymore. And that's okay. Perhaps even you grow apart and there's still love there. There's still compassion, but you're growing apart. Or perhaps conflict happens and you distance yourself, right? These are just the different outcomes that may happen. If you find yourself, feeling nervous or scared of an ending, I think it's an important time to have a conversation with your friends and let them know if you're feeling fear, right? Let them know what's on your mind. It's time. It's no fun to hang around people or be around people when you can't truly be yourself. You can't truly express yourself, and there's an unequal energy exchange. That's how I see it. Once we awaken spiritually, we really do start to perceive life more in energy, frequency, and vibration, because we're feeling it. We're more in touch with the subtle energy shifts in our body and in the world around us. So it's important that we have these conversations if you're feeling fear. Now, some of you here may not feel fear. Some of you here may hear these signs of misalignment and say, it's time for me to move on. I need to grow. I need to spread my wings. Perhaps you may consider, a conversation and there being a mutual agreement or a separation, and still there's love and compassion. Because many times the friendships, they may not end in conflict. It may end in both parties just not really understanding each other. I find that that's one of the significant differences, is that your friend and those friendships, they may seriously not understand what the state of consciousness you're in. And that doesn't make up for the space or community that allows you to grow, that waters your seeds. So it's important to allow yourself to hold these conversations with friends. Give yourself some space for emotional processing. Yeah, this is a moment of grief, of loss. Something is being lost in some way, so that you allow yourself space to open up and receive. Whenever we're dealing with a loss in friendships or loss in anything, it's making space for newness. We may not see it in the moment, but that's what's occurring. What may appear as negative on the outside is actually space being made, right? Also, on top of conversations, emotional processing, bring more awareness to your inner peace, all right? I created an ebook called Peaceful Pauses. Check that out. It's truly focused on how a single peaceful pause is all you need to transcend thought, to transcend these heavy emotions so we can recognize the bigger picture. It's just powerful in spiritual awakening. It's powerful when we are faced with the loss of a friendship, the shift in friendship. So when it comes to nurturing your inner peace, I highly recommend you check out this ebook. It's powerful. It's a guide. It's all been influenced and based on much of what I learned throughout my years of awakening. And also, it's time to embrace solitude. If you find that all of your friends it's just fading away and it's dissolving, it's time for you to embrace being with you. You cannot grow and change around others. You'd be absorbing too much of their thoughts and opinions and not truly bringing awareness to what is your own. Bringing awareness to what it means to remain rooted in being, to inviting presence and being present with yourself in your life. So welcome in solitude and simultaneously embrace these new opportunities, all right? This right here is a powerful topic. Once again, if you enjoyed this topic and you'd like me to dive into a little bit more or make a series on it, let me know in the comments section. And also, if you enjoy that ebook, check out my course, Peaceful Pauses for the Overstimulated Mind, a meditation course. This course takes you on a journey of 7 inspirational messages and 7 guided meditations. They all align. It's a message, then a guided meditation, a message, and then a guided meditation. It's powerful. It's taking you all along a journey of recognizing inner peace, the inner peace that is always available to you. Recognizing that your truest essence is beyond thought. It's beyond emotion. So that you recognize yourself as the ocean and play as a wave in peace. If you found that you resonated with this topic, you resonated with how I shared it and what I shared, the ebook, the course will be incredibly valuable to this point in your life, especially friendships. So once again, my name is Morcie. I'm sending you peace. I'm sending you love, wholeness. Live in a state of gratitude.